We're just excited to launch a new pilot project for the disability program in cooperation with the cattle project and our agricultural side is a new goat pilot project. And essentially the beneficiaries are a part of the current disability program, and it's to help create sustainability, improve their quality of life, and giving them some autonomy in caring for themselves. The goat project essentially will look like this. 3 families that are participating in our disability project there in Mozambique will be given 2 female goats and a third of a bull. So essentially their corral is together. So currently this community just outside of Shai has received their first 7 goats. In total, there's 6 female goats and 1 male that are coming together, and the families are responsible for caring for these goats. And over a period of time, the goats will begin to essentially get a bigger herd. The trip of goats will be essentially the beginning of our pilot project and seeing how we can create sustainability. As many of you know, we've been doing this with cattle, and after so many years of the recipients that have received this herd of cattle, we'll pass it on to another group of families. The same idea is for the goat project. After the years of receiving their goats, they pass the goats on to the next group of families within the community. Our goal here is that as they begin to pass on to the next group, this herd will continue to grow and more people will begin to receive and gain from having livestock. We understand that livestock for them in Africa, cattle is considered like your bank account. Well, the same way for goats or chickens. It's a way of creating and making sure that you can sustain your families and have a quality of life, a well-balanced diet as we look at ways to help and encourage those that are disabled and care for them. This is one way that we're looking at doing this through their quality of life as the GOAT project. Those that are a part of the first group of recipients, this means so much to them in a community and in a culture where they're seen as less than. We've had the ability over this last year to remind them that they are loved by God, that they are a part of God's community and they have a place and a purpose. But now to give to them in such a way that they can create that sustainability. Livestock for them, cattle, goats, chickens, that's a part of having a bank account for them. Their quality of life, their economic level. These are all ways that Unitas International really wants to create that freedom for them as a community, being a part of the body of Christ. The GOAT project is just another way that we are looking at helping those in need. With the GOAT project, it's not just those that are disabled individually that are receiving these goats. It is their immediate families that are also partnering with us. So now we're not just benefiting the actual individual, but as a collective family unit, they are receiving the goats. Some of you may remember the lady that is blind and her husband who's crippled. Marta and Alberto, their daughter, is a part of this. She was the one signing the forms. We're helping to build the bond of the family unit. For those that are disabled, it's not just that there can be an outcast even from their own family. We're encouraging that bond of their family and support of the family. Another gentleman that you may remember is Francisco, the veteran that has lost his leg during the war. He is also another recipient. And the excitement is they were amongst themselves beginning to build this corral for the GOAT project. What I find so interesting is that, in other areas that are more rural, we're able to do cattle. This is an area that they live in that is not as rural, so we're not able to do cattle. But also for those that are paralyzed or blind or have lost a limb, it's very difficult to care for cattle. Where goats are a more smaller animal that their families can come around them and help them care for the goats. We don't need the amount of food that you need for a cattle. You need a lot less food in caring for goats. So the actual care that's needed for a goats is less than what is needed for cattle. One of the exciting things is as we look at creating waves of sustainability in Mozambique, is that when you address these issues, you begin to change a mindset. And what is so amazing to me is again, when we're not just looking at those that are disabled, but also their families, it helps to change their mindset. It begins to help them not see themselves as less than, not see themselves as, oh, the community is going to view me as less than because someone in my family is disabled. It empowers them to see themselves as not just a human, but as someone that is loved by a community, by an organization, by people around the world. There's an excitement as they were receiving their goats and learning more of how to care for them. There was an excitement as Francisco is preparing and as he's literally on one leg shoveling the rock as he prepares the corral. What an amazing thing to see their excitement, to see their gratitude, their heartfelt thankfulness and humbleness to be receiving this gift. We're so thankful that we've been able to begin this project. Please consider partnering with us. We just want to thank you for being a part of this and a part of the organization and what we're doing, but also consider donating to this project as it's in its beginning stages. Watch for new stories to come out as they share in their excitement of what it means to them to be a part of the GOAT pilot project.